Yo, what's good everybody? It's Kamikaze Soundwaves here, and I just got home from seeing The Incredibles 2, and I gotta say that I think that it was incredibly mediocre. Now, before I go any further, there is spoilers all over this video, so if you haven't seen it, get out of here right now. This is definitely gonna be spoiled rotten. So, the story. Let's just jump right into the story. Now, the story is average at best. It starts off with them trying to stop this criminal, and they all have to work together as a family, but I feel like the kids are kind of scrutinized by the parents a little bit by not doing their job and watching their baby brother. And so anyway, they all ultimately come together as a family and stop the bad guy, but they don't capture him, but they do a lot of damage across the city, and it does not paint a good picture for superheroes. So superheroes are outlawed. Now it comes into play with this company. There's a guy and a girl, and they own this company, and what they want to do is try to bring superheroes back. They want to bring superheroes back and paint them in a positive light in front of everyone, because apparently the guy who owns the company now, his dad loves superheroes. He's very close with all the old school ones and what have you. Now, I gotta say, I felt that you could see this coming a million miles away, that they were either both the bad guy or one of them was the bad guy. And it turned out that the sister of the brother and sister who owned the company was the bad guy. Very clear. You could see it coming. To me, I could see it coming a million miles away. So now they're trying to bring the superheroes together and paint them in a positive light. So they use Elastigirl to be the face of that, bringing the superheroes back. So they do a lot of things to paint her in a positive light, to make sure that everyone's happy with superheroes coming back and being on board with superheroes being the protector of everyone. And that's kind of pretty much the entire plot. Now, it turns out that one of them is the bad guy, so they turn around and try to have this sinister, evil plot to make all of the superheroes end up doing bad things in order to have her plot executed that she wanted, all the superheroes to be portrayed in a negative light, because they hypnotize all the superheroes, and basically what's left is just the three kids. I feel like that was one of the most missed opportunities, because I felt like they started off with the movie saying, hey, you kids, you need to be doing what you're doing, and, we're the parents and we can do this. They ended up bringing all the superheroes back out of being hypnotized at the end, where I felt like what the missed opportunity was, they could have had the kids save the day. They could have had the kids defeat the parents because they were hypnotized, beat all the superheroes, and be the ones that save the day. I feel like that was such a missed opportunity. I felt like that would have been fantastic, because I will say the star of this movie is Jack the baby. Apparently he has a bajillion different powers, and he is, I'm not gonna front, hilarious. So all his powers were very, very funny. Him giving Mr. Incredible a run for his money for his dad skills, because he had so much stuff going on, and him going like crazy trying to take care of him because he had so many powers. And of course, Edna makes a return, and she has to babysit him for one night to find out a suit to take care of his superpowers. That was fucking classic. But I will say Jack is definitely the star of the show. Absolutely, hands down. This is his movie. There is one scene in particular where he is being trapped in a vent, and this is one power that he showcases so many powers, and you think that's kind of like all the ones that he has, but then he just grows into this gigantic huge baby and crushes one of the villain guys. And my daughter started laughing so hard, and it made me laugh. I mean, I didn't think it was that funny, but just how she thought it was funny and my other kids started laughing, it made me laugh. It is funny, but it didn't just get me that way, but it really slayed the kids. They thought it was hilarious. So at the end of the day, of course, the kids come in. They are kind of the saviors, because they actually knock off the hypnotizing goggles off to Mr. Incredible and Elastic and Frodo and Frozone and Frodo. But they kind of knock the hypnotize off them, and they jump in and they all save it. Now the ending thing is this gigantic ship that's headed towards this big city, which really left me puzzled, because the ending this is supposed to be a big build up to something. They're trying to stop this big event, a catastrophe, a thing that could happen. I guess you could consider it a catastrophe. There's this big gigantic a cruise ship that's headed towards the city on the water, and I'm just like, is this really that big of a deal? It's a boat, it's going fast, but all he had to really do was pick up the phone and be like, hey, there's a gigantic boat headed for the middle of the city, and maybe we could have some people evacuated to 4th Street and 11th Street. I think we'll be good. Yeah, I think you'll be, you know what? That's a good idea. Let me go ahead and get on that. And I think the problem would have been solved. I guess they were trying to make sure the superheroes had their good image by protecting the city and not making sure anyone got hurt or died. I understand that, but it's no gigantic thing was at risk. It was just a boat headed for a populated island. There was no bomb attached to it. There was nothing. It was just a boat headed for a very populated city. Like, that's it. Like, I just didn't feel like that warranted this gigantic big ending scene. Now, don't get me wrong, it is cool to a degree, but I'm just thinking when I was watching it, I'm like, it's just a fucking boat. Like, maybe a few people might get hurt, maybe 1 or 2 dead. I know how that sounds, but I'm just like, it's just a boat headed for a populated city. Like, how big of a deal is this? Now, I guess in a superhero's mind, we don't want anyone to get hurt, and I understand that, and I completely agree to that sentiment, but at the same time, I'm like, it just didn't give me that feeling of, this is a dire moment. So, they all end up having to work together to get, the kids have to work together, all the superheroes have to work together. And end of the day, the ship does land on the island, but it's protected by Frozone protecting it with ice, and there's not even a scratch on one building. It does land on the building, but no one gets hurt, nothing gets messed up. And that's the end. That's it. So on all, the story was just like, it was very just so bland. And I feel like that the one thing about not having the kids save the day was such a missed opportunity. So another couple of gripes that I had with it is like Frozone, like that catchphrase, "Where's my super suit?" That wasn't used. Why? That is one of the most classic lines from that movie. "Where's my super suit?" And all it was him grabbing a super suit, like, "You better not take your super suit." Like, that was it. I'm like, are they not going to use the line? Are they not going to use the line? Like, come on. That is one of those iconic lines from that movie, and you're not going to capitalize on that? Come on. I was expecting somewhere in that movie for them to be, "Where's my super suit?" Nope. Completely another missed opportunity. Now, I will say that I did like the aspect of the dad, Mr. Incredible, having to take a backseat while Miss Alaska Girl was doing her thing, and it was like his job. Like, he was, very envious of her being popular and all over the news about doing great things, and him having taken the backseat and being the dad. That was kind of comical here and there because Jack apparently starts to learn his powers, and he has so many, and he's hard to control. Like I said, this is his movie, funny as hell. But I do feel like they overused the baby, I'm a baby talk thing. It was funny, don't get me wrong. There was parts where I'm like, that's funny. But after like the 10th or 12th time it was used, I'm like, how many more times are we going to just rely on the baby voice thing? I get it. He's a baby. It's funny. He's, being a baby. But can we move on from this? Can we find something else, like something quick-witted or some kind of response to something? But no, they really capitalized on Jack, and it was funny. But I do feel like it kind of wore out its welcome a little bit towards the end. But I do like the Mr. Incredible being the dad and having to take care of all the kids and their problems. There's a subplot with the daughter who finds this boy, and apparently her mask came off in the beginning, so they had to wipe his memory so he wouldn't know who she was, and she really likes him. So that was kind of a subplot in there about her being devastated that he didn't like her. But I think just me being a dad, I kind of connected with that part a little bit. Now, there was one fantastic scene in it, and I have to talk about it. That is when Jack starts to learn his powers, and he's sitting on the couch with the dad, and the dad falls asleep, and he's just sucking on his bottle, and he's watching this black and white movie with a bank robber, and I guess some generic superhero comes in and defeat them, and he looks outside and he sees a raccoon digging in the trash. Raccoons have the black eyes, so they have that robber mask or whatnot, and he looks at him, he's just like, "I'm gonna get you," because I guess, I don't know, he's a superhero now, but you don't know it for a couple of seconds, but his parents are superhero, he looks at him, he's a villain. I thought that was really clever. So Jack and this raccoon go to absolute war, and it's fucking hilarious. It's raccoon versus this Jack, and they are just fucking fighting for a good solid 8 or 9 minutes. I gotta say, that part was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, other than that brings me to a point where I want to say that the pacing of this movie was really bad. Now, hear me out. The first part opens with action. We have to go through this long, drawn out, just talking, subplot here, subplot there. I'm like, I'm checking my ticket, didn't I come to see The Incredibles 2? There's way too much of the movie with absolutely no action. And there's just a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of plots, there's a lot of build up that I feel like I wanted to see more action because I came to see The Incredibles 2. Now, at the end, there is all the superheroes that were coming on board who were all manipulated into being the bad guys. It didn't have a good payoff. I felt like we finally get to the action part that everybody wanted to see. Everybody wanted to see, you know, the Incredibles being the Incredibles and kicking ass and taking names. And I feel like we were all waiting for that. Or I can say that I was waiting for that. I can't speak for everyone in the fucking movie theater, but I was waiting for that payoff. I'm like, okay, there hasn't been action pretty much 85% of this movie. We're finally getting to all the superheroes have been manipulated. Now they're going after the kids because Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl and even Frozone ends up getting hypnotized. So basically the kids are on their own. And I'm just like, you know, there's a big payoff coming, and it never happened. It's like the action was so mediocre. It was so boring. I just didn't feel it. I'm just watching. I'm like, is this what we've been waiting for? Is this what I sit here for? I mean, there's just so much exposition and talking and dialogue with all these dramas, with the Mr. Incredible being jealous of Elastigirl, having the spotlight. Now, there are a few segments here and there where there is action, but at the same time, I'm just like, I want action. I want action. This is the Incredibles. And I'm just sitting there like, this is incredibly boring. I didn't come here to see subplots about, you know, girls, you know, being upset that their new crush doesn't like them. I'm not feeling that. So, but there, like I said, I do feel like the missed opportunity was the kids were on their own. Everyone, Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, Frozone, and all the other superheroes were all brainwashed, and the kids were completely on their own. The boy, the girl, and Jack. And that would have been, I felt, so much greater if they were the ones to save the day. They were the ones, and they earned their place as the Incredibles, you know, or their place, because I feel like the opening was kind of a scrutinizing of the kids, and I'm like, you know, that would have been perfect. Them to come in, and especially with Jack having so many powers. And it was a great scene because I feel like that was a lead up too. They were sitting in the car and they're like, Mom and Dad are captured, Frozo's gone, it's just us, so what are we gonna do? And he just looked back at Jack and he does like some crazy power, and they're like, yep, we got Jack on our side, let's go do this shit. All we need is Jack. I was hoping Jack was gonna do all his powers and just fuck everybody up. That's what I was hoping for, but I feel like maybe that's the way I just hoped the movie would go, because I felt like that would have been a great ending. It didn't go that way. Jack does have some more, you know, moments at the end, what have you. But I was thinking that would have been perfect. That would have been absolutely great. Like, why didn't you go for that angle? That would have been a perfect angle. So I gotta say, at the end of the day, I didn't hate it. I just felt like it was incredibly bland and incredibly boring. And after so much buildup of 14 years, I think it was, what the hell, you know? What the hell? So bland, so boring. It's a good movie to go see with the kids. That's about the best I can give it. I gotta say, it's very mediocre. It's not bad. It's definitely not even good to me. I wouldn't say it's not good. It's okay. It's all right. Definitely expected more. Gotta say one more thing about, you know, Disney's have these opening movie things, these opening cartoons. There's one for this one called like Bio, or I don't know. I can't remember, but apparently it's a short story, because, you know, they always use like animated short stories in the beginning. There's this scene where this like little thing comes to life. All I can say is you have to see this for yourself. I'm literally gonna have nightmares for fucking months after that. It's a little short story about the woman whose son moves away, but like she envisions him like as actual food or something. And I gotta say, the little food comes to life, and it's literally terrifying. I literally got up out of my seat and was like, what the fuck is this? Fucking weird, dude. But overall, The Incredibles 2, not the worst Disney movie. Just didn't get me, man. And I'm really disappointed because I was really excited for this. It's not terrible. It's not good. I just gotta say that I feel like it's incredibly mediocre. Not as much action as I hoped there would be. And it's got some good moments. It's got some funny moments. But I think this is definitely a movie that you need to see in the movie theater with other people. because I think if you see it by yourself, it's a snooze fest. But you know, when people in the theater laugh, it helps you laugh and interact with it more. But I think it's definitely a good movie to see in a group or in a movie theater or with other people. You might get a better kick out of it that way, because I think if you watch it alone, you're going to be like, nah. So anyways, Kamikaze Soundwaves, much obliged for watching. Let me know what you guys think about The Incredibles 2. Maybe I'm completely off. But that was my feeling. I was super excited for it, and I felt like I didn't get what I was expecting. But anyway, much obliged for watching, and I will see you over the next one.